What's up, everybody? Nasty Saturday out there. The weather's crappy. I figured I'd do a pop-up live. Talk about some soil samples that I just got back in the mail. It's getting to be that time. We're going to be talking a lot about spring plots and things. What's up, Josh? Good to see you on here. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I just thought I'd do this, try this new vertical YouTube live thing that they got going on here that you can do over the phone. And we're going to talk about some soil samples that I just got back. Hope some other people can join in. But yeah, I deal with Penn State Extension when I do my soil plots and my soil samples. I seem to like them. What's up, Dave? Thanks for coming in. Josh, you're gonna send yours in tomorrow. Cool. I can see all the people that are on and getting this thing figured out. Haven't done a live in a long time, but I'm gonna start doing some more in the future here. So, yeah. I turned my soil samples in on January 9th and had them sent in a one-ship box, sent them out, tracked them, and Penn State got them on the 12th. And at 5:45 p.m., I think it said. And they had these back to me today already. And I am very pleased to say that I need 0 lime this year. 0. So all the things and practices that I've been doing and talking about, we beat people up about all this stuff and try to help them and tell them how to do some stuff, and and I'm doing it on my own and getting it done, and it's working out really good for me. So needing nothing is a great thing. So I'm not going to be spending a bunch of money this year. Even the amount of fertilizer recommended for me is only, I needed I'm only going to need 3 bags of fertilizer this year. 3 bags for like a 5 acres that I plant. 3 bags. That's like nothing. So my numbers are really great. The pH levels on the 4 samples that I took, the lowest is 6.8 all the way up to 7.1. So that's a great thing. Won't be putting any lime on. CEC, which is cation exchange, which kind of controls how much of your amendments that you can put on at one point in time. Those numbers came back really nice. My CEC is only at a 10.1, so that's real nice. That means my soil's organic matter and things are picking up. So all the things that you do every year add up, and it helps you out in the long run. And the longer you work on this stuff, the better they'll get. And just happy that I don't have to spend all that money this year. I can spend some of that money on some other things, So my magnesium's, a lot of it's pretty high because some of the lime that I use, it's infused with some magnesium. It's high mag lime, so that's pretty high. I was looking at my base saturation. I could use a little bit more calcium, but that's in addition to calcium carbonate, which is actually the lime. I could go out and get some calcium supplement and add it in, but a lot of it's just borderline. I could use some sulfur. Everybody in PA can use sulfur. Geez, everybody's low in that. So I might get some ammonium sulfate mix that up, spray that on. That comes, you can get that granular. So I might add that this year for a little sulfur, but I've got to watch how much of that I spray. Don't want to do that too much of that at one point in time. And when I do that, I'm probably going to have to add in some bags of lime. Um, that way, it'll offset the ammonium sulfate, because ammonium sulfate will actually lower your pH. So I will definitely add in a couple bags of lime at planting or at spraying when I do that, just to offset that. Now I just made a mistake and said that at planting, and that's because my mind's moving 100 feet a second here. Trying to think of what I wanted to talk about here. I should have wrote some stuff down before I jumped on here. But at planting, you still need a little bit of a starter fertilizer to get things jumping out of the ground. So, you know, even if you're planting clover, there's that big discrepancy out there. People think that there's instant uh, instant nitrogen in your clover, but you still need a little bit to get started. So that being said, yeah, I don't need very much amendments. Just happy about that. But what I've got going this year is I transitioned a lot of my plots this year into just clover, so it's just easy stuff to manage and maintain. Um, Last year I had some established clover and I frost seeded it, and it came in thicker than crazy, and I was mowing all the time. But that's a good thing. I don't mind mowing that. It kept heading out. I kept mowing it off, and it would just thicken the stand up even more and more. Um, I did get into spraying a little bit of IMOX last year to make sure to control the weeds. What's up, Deer Corner? Yeah, it's hard to explain depending on what you're planning. Sure. Um, yeah, I did some spraying the IMOX last year and controlled some of that grasses and things that was in the plot, and it worked out real well for me. And just that one application in mowing just did me some good, you know. And then uh, my screening, which is incognito from Domain, it was coming up real slow, and so after it started to come up, I side dressed it with some fertilizer and made sure it had a lot of potash dumped on her, and it seemed to be really taking a jump. And then we got hit with that drought, which really slowed everything down. I know everybody in the lower 48 just got their plots just slowed right down, and that was a hard pill to swallow, because a lot of people spend a lot of time and money on this stuff, and that drought just messed it up. So yeah, between that and then we had a big rainy season, and that just did the opposite. You know, it counteracted everything that the drought did, and then it got dry again, and it was just like, oh my gosh, everybody's stuff was just either washed out or just got fried, and that's hard. That's hard as a food plotter when that stuff happens. But that was the kind of year that I had last year. Um, you know, I went ahead and planted some stuff for fall, got ready for hunting, and that plot, I did that. I hit the rain just right when I planted it, and it jumped up out of the ground, and then that drought hit, and it slowed it down. Except nothing slows down weeds, though. That's the problem with the weeds. So we did get the weeds going, which Josh saying I needed some IMOX last year. Had weeds bad after the first spring green up. Yeah, first in the spring it's hard when you to get things to establish without weeds. It's a fight, and that's why I pretty much transitioned everything to clover and chicory and some alfalfa and things, which is some good stuff coming from Domain. They have Hot Chick and Comeback Kid, which is clovers, chicories, and alfalfas, and that's what I like to like to go ahead and plant that stuff, and it takes care of itself pretty much. It's not a big deal. Um, like I said, the weeds creep in. If you can't control them with the mowing, you can go ahead and spray them. And after that first initial spraying, why, you know, just keeping up with mowing is your biggest fight there. So, yeah, what's Josh say? Yeah, my hot chick was up to 18 inches before the weeds and the heat took over. Yeah, the hot chick, I mean, everybody has good success with hot chick. They really do. Now, I don't understand, like, my soil tests are like spot on, says I need nothing, but my hot chick, for some reason, that it seems like my chicory gets up 4 or 5 inches, and I'm guessing that the deer pick it all out because it just like disappears on me, and it's weird. It's very weird. It just disappears. And then you hear other people saying that, it's like Josh is saying, it's so freaking high, that they have to actually mow it to control it, you know. Oh, what's Dave saying? Explain that the IMOX is not to replace glyphosate. Yeah, for sure. I had this question 2 days ago. No, actually, it was yesterday. A guy texted me while I was at work and said, "Hey, all this time you're talking about IMOX. Can I put this on other things?" Well, you could, but you're not gonna. You're if it's already established, you're probably gonna kill everything else off. Um, it's definitely just to control the weeds in the broadleafs or the grasses in the broadleafs in clovers, in alfalfas, in chicory. Um, Glyphosate is a broad spectrum killer, and it will kill a lot of different things. Um, so, yeah, it's great for controlling weeds and grasses and broadleafs in clover and chicory and alfalfa, but it's not to be used on like your brassicas and things. So you're not just going to go out and use that on just anything. So that confuses a lot of people. But we're talking about clovers and spring plantings and stuff now, and that's why we're always mentioning IMOX. Now, when we get into summer plots or fall plots, you won't hear us say much about IMOX at that point, because other things will be taken care of at that point. Josh said, "Hey, they will pick it out. I have a video of heads dropping and coming back up looking like a salad bowl hanging out of their mouths." For sure. For sure. They just like to pluck that stuff right up and out. And, I mean, that's what it's there for. Chicory is very high in protein content, um, providing your soil is spot on. Um, and you're only going to have optimum plots if your soil tests come back optimum. So that's why we bang on guys about getting their soil amended and not skipping this step. Like, I could have skipped this step, but I would have had absolutely no clue what my soil looked like, and I would have bet I would have bet you money that my soil tests were not this good if I had not done them. So I would have, just to protect my own rear end, I would have gone out and bought a couple hundred pounds of fertilizer to add at planting, just because I wasn't going to check it, if I wasn't going to check it. And guess what? That would have been a total waste of money because all the tests are good. So there's just an example of why you should do them. Now, yeah, I spent, $40 on the tests and sending them out, but one bag of fertilizer in my area is almost $30. So right there, I would have spent that easily on a bag of fertilizer. So now, knowing that I don't need any Lyman fertilizer, I don't need to purchase all that stuff. So that is a very good example of why you do these soil tests. Now, had these come back really, really bad, at least then I would have known what I needed to add to amend my soil. But being that I don't have to, that's great. I've banked up all that stuff in the soil, and it's paying for me. So what else you got? Anybody got anything to add? Yeah, I'm just really happy that these came back well. I put a lot of time and effort in to these tests, these plots, and into the deer locally, and just glad that it's paying off, man. Everything you do this year will help you next year. But just wanted to try this. Wanted to try this new vertical eye. I'm not going to stay on long. Let's see. My spoil must be spot on. My rock garden is coming in great. No, growing good rocks, huh, Josh? Yeah, that's funny. One guy at work said he plants all this stuff out in the middle of the field and he doesn't see any deer out there, but he has a little garden in beside the house. He says all the deer are up against the house eating in his garden. And I said, well, you're obviously doing something better in the garden than you did out in the field. So I said, get after it. Get out there in the soil test. So, well, I won't stay on long. I'm going to hop off. Just wanted to try this new forum out. And it looks like I figured it out. I can see people's chats. So that's pretty cool. I'll get on another time when I actually have something to say. This was just pretty much a test. So, what's Josh say? I am convinced I'm planning in a quarry. Actually, I look back at one of my videos last year from my fall plot that I planted, and I had it all prepared soil, and I put the seed on, and when everything starts to grow, it worsens the rock appearances because it pushes everything to the top. And man, I went for a walk over there the other day and looked around to see what I had left in all those clover fields. And holy smokes, it just looks like somebody come and dumped a truckload of shale on top of the ground or something. I've got so many stones over there. I wish I had a rock rake or something. I could just drag all that garbage off. But for right now, I'm just hand picking all them big goonies off. I go over with the tractor, throw all the goonies off the plot, try to get rid of some of that stuff. But yeah, here real soon. It's snowing today. It's in the teens. It's very cold. And I've got to wait a long time before I can even get to thinking about all this stuff. But I'm preparing for it, getting ready. And soon it'll be here. So I'm going to hop off here, guys. Thanks for joining in. I will see you guys later.